Hello and welcome to the Eddie Sutton Show. I'm Dean Blevins, and since we last met, Oklahoma State wins 2 more games. Cowboys 8-0. Eddie move up to number 6 in the rankings, and this is the fastest start in 22 years. Congratulations.
We can't improve on the record. We can improve on the quality of play. I don't think we're playing quite as well right now as we did when we won the NIT tournament, but we were very fortunate in getting out of Ruston the other night at a place that's very tough to win for the visiting team, almost as tough as Gallagher-Iba Arena. I think they had lost only 7 games out of 110, only 7 times since 1982 when they opened their facility. So we won that ball game to raise the record to 8-0. And earlier, last Saturday in Tulsa, we defeated University of California, Berkeley to win our 7th game. Saturday night here, we get back on the home court against Wichita State. But I like this basketball team. They're getting better. I like the play of our 2 centers offensively. In our last outing, we scored, or they scored 22 points and had 7 rebounds. But the one thing they're not doing very well, they're not defending as well as they need to, and they're giving up way too many rebounds. The weakest part of our basketball team right now is the number of rebounds we're giving the opposition. I don't think there's a ball club in the country that when they reach an 8-0 record will be out-rebounded, and that's exactly what's happening to us. And that's something that we must improve on before we get to Big 8 play, or we're in serious trouble.
Cowboys playing well. We'll have lots of highlights. California and Louisiana Tech coming up after this timeout. Stay with us. Welcome back to the program. The Cowboys took their 6-0 record to Mabee Center. I know you were excited about playing back in Tulsa. You played California, Coach.
I'm always excited about going to Tulsa because I coached high school ball there for 7 years, and Mabee Arena is one of the nicest arenas you'll ever find. And ORU was kind enough to allow us to use that as our home court away from home. We did play a good University of California Berkeley ball club. A team was picked to probably finish in the middle of the pack in the Pac-10, a young basketball team. Byron Houston hit the first field goal, and there you see Corey hitting another 3-pointer. In the ball game, we were 6 out of 17 from 3-point range. They were 9 out of 18, so some pretty good long-range shooting. There's Sean shooting over the top of their zone, hitting a 3-pointer. In the early going, it was a pretty slow type game because California tried to shorten the length of the game by holding the ball for long periods of time. They got in early foul trouble with one of their players, Brian Hendrick, who happens to be the son of George Hendrick, the great baseball player that played for the Cardinals for a long time. But just before halftime, we got our defense rocking, and there you see a great fast break, a nice pass by Sean off to Randy Davis. We're going to take a look at that later in the show, that same play. Crowd was very enthusiastic, almost as good as it is here in Gallagher-Iba Arena. Good play by Corey Williams. In the 2 games this week, Corey Williams really got on track, played much better than he's been playing. Another good defensive play, good lead pass off to Sean, and Randy Davis is at the end of the fast break and converts.
41-25, making a move here, Coach. 8,400 in Tulsa that evening.
Very good crowd. We were very pleased that many people turned out to watch the Cowboys perform.
Another break, and then sort of a typical Oklahoma State defensive play coming up here, right here. Cornell Hatcher, he has continued to play well.
He overplayed the passing lane. Let's freeze it right there. The reason I want to stop that play, this is very important for young people that might be watching to play basketball. Don't ever assume a shot's going to be hit, even on a breakaway layup like Cornell Hatcher had. A lot of times you'll see in a ball game a team will stop playing assuming the shot's going to be hit. He happened to miss that shot. Sean very alertly followed up, got the tip in. Let's go ahead and roll it. But that's something that young players need to understand. Don't ever assume a shot's going to be hit. Assume it's going to be missed and play it accordingly. They're in a press right here. We do a good job with our press breaker. Good 2-on-1 break. Williams and Cornell Hatcher. Good homecoming for Cornell Hatcher. He had an outstanding high school career there in Tulsa.
Tulsa Edison. In fact, 76-62. The coach coming off with a good-looking tie. Kind of like that, Coach.
Well,
next up, though, after that one, though, Louisiana Tech, and I know they had won, what was it, 103 and lost 7 games out of their last 110 in Ruston.
They had the second best one-loss record of anyone in college basketball, right behind the University of Nevada at Las Vegas. So we knew going down to Ruston that would be a very tough game. But in the game with California, we did a lot of good things. We had good balanced scoring. Our defense, again, was sound, although we gave up the highest field goal percentage to a team this year, 41%. Later against Louisiana Tech, they get 45%. But for the season, we're holding our opponents to 41% shooting. If we can maintain that, we've got a chance to win a lot of basketball games.
That is exactly right. Let's go to Ruston, Louisiana. 5th largest crowd, or the largest crowd in 5 years for the Cajuns down in Louisiana, and they came to play early, but so did Oklahoma State. Randy Davis.
Randy Davis continues to get better. He and Bryant Reeves both, and as I said earlier, offensively we're doing fine with those two guys.
How about
we just
this
got to
guy?
get better defensively. Sean Sutton is playing the best basketball of his collegiate career at both ends of the floor, and in this game, he and Byron led us in scoring with 15 points apiece.
Coach, your team's hitting 45% of three-point shots.
Very good shooting. We're a pretty good outside shooting ball club because we're selective in the shots that we take. In the first half, I thought Corey Williams, Darwin Alexander, and Sean Sutton played like we want them to play. They had 24 out of our 42 first half points. That was a nice pass from Sean into Bryant Reeves. Bryant had 10 points in this game, and Davis had 14. That was Byron Houston's only field goal in the first half. He missed 7 straight shots before he hit that one. They did a good job defensively on him.
Well, that's nice, though, when your big man on the inside struggles a little bit in terms of scoring. Your guards pick up the slack, and you know Byron Houston will come around before the ball game's over.
Well, that's for sure. In the second half, he played much better, and right here you see he makes a good drive to the basket, doesn't hit it, but what's his follow shot? That's
pretty
what you
high
call
percentage shot.
Dunking the ball with authority.
Byron ends up with 15 points, 9 rebounds as he turns it on in the second half, and the Pokes get away with a big one.
We had to really maintain our poise late because they made a late run at us, hit some big shots from outside, and we didn't turn the ball over but 5 times in this ball game, which is really an unbelievable statistic this early in the year. And that was one of the reasons we were able to win, but we did maintain our poise. Sean hits a big basket there late, and as you mentioned, we hit the free throws during the latter stage of the game. They're in a 1-3-1 half-court trap. Nice pass from Williams to Hatcher, and he converts. Final score 77-71.
Cowboys get to 8-0, and I think you mentioned poise. Being mentally tough is so important, and I think that you saw that your club is that. That was the first true road game of the year.
You win on the road with good, solid defense by being disciplined, by being mentally tough, and by having great senior leadership like we have. We have 5 wonderful young men that have been to war. They've been in the trenches, and they know when that opposing team comes on the floor and the crowd gets wild, if they'll maintain their poise and do the things that we practice on the practice court, we got a chance to win.
Time for a timeout. We'll take a break and be back with more of the Eddie Sutton Show right after this. And our play of the week this week. Coach, take it over. It's a break led by Byron Houston.
Byron Houston gets the rebound off to Sean. Nice lead pass to Randy Davis, and that's what good defensive board play will get for you. See how Byron blocks his man off, keeps him on his back, good pitch out to your outlet man, to your point guard. Randy Davis runs the floor hard. That's one thing he does well. Good high lob pass. Randy reads the ball into his fingertips and flushes it home. And everybody that is a Cowboy fan likes to see a play like that.
Not run and gun style, but you certainly like to run when you can.
We want a fast break. People get that sometimes confused, but we do want to run under control, and when we get to the offensive end, we still have the basketball in our hands.
Brief timeout. When we come back, time for Coach's Corner. Stay with us. And time for our Coach's Corner and a new wrinkle. Coach, get the pointer out here and show us what's up.
I want to try to use this thing. This is tonight we're looking at team defense, what good defense will do. Let's just freeze it right there. You can see everybody's in great position. He's going to deny that pass. Everybody sees the basketball. That's so important. I'm having to learn to do this right here. Another guy 1 pass away. He's contesting. You see Sean here crossing over. He's 1 pass away. the man with the basketball right there, he's got a lot of heavy pressure put on him. And that's what you want your defense to do. Be down in a down position, everybody see the basketball, pressure on the ball, one pass away, overplay, keep the ball out of the pivot area. And what happens normally in a situation like that, you get a jump ball situation or a turnover. Let's go ahead and run it. You can see there again, good defensive position, man breaks the basket, deny that pass. That's excellent defense. And there you see the official. 5-second count, the man handled the ball or held the ball too long, and that's a turnover. And our defense has forced our opponents into an average of 17 turnovers a game, and you go along with 41% shooting from the field, and that's why we're 8-0. Plus, offensively, we've had good shot selection. We're hitting 53% of our field goal attempts and 73% at the line.
Now, your coach's corner both weeks have stressed defense. Any parallel with that in the number 6 ranking in America?
Dean, you played at a great school that plays football quite well, and they play basketball, and I tried to recruit this guy out of high school because he was a heck of a high school basketball player. But I know that you learn this. Good teams, when you play team sports, play good, solid defense if you're going to win consistently in football, basketball, hockey, baseball, regardless of what it is. And football coaches taught me that a long time ago, along with Mr. Iba, that if you are going to win, you better be sound defensively.
And players learn to like it. I don't know that many kids growing up like defense, but your players, for example, enjoy playing defense.
Well, our team
have to.
Well, they take great pride in our defense, and they know that if our defense is sound, we're going to be in the ball game every night we go on the court. And they also know if our defense is really playing well, we're going to force turnovers, which will lead to easy baskets at the other end of the floor. And you are right. If they don't play defense, they'll have a nice seat over there next to me.
Coach, you are number 6 in the country. I know last week you made the remark you felt you were overranked. I don't know if that's the case, but this is the highest you've been ranked since sometime in the 50s. How do you look at the national rankings? How do you feel about that?
Well, I think those 5 teams that are ahead of us are legitimate ball clubs, and we're looking at Duke and North Carolina and Ohio State, and who are the other teams that are ahead of us right now? I think
depending on which poll, those are 4 that are in everyone's poll.
They're all good basketball teams, and I think once you get to our ball club and maybe another 20 teams, we're all very good basketball teams, and on a given night we probably are capable of beating anyone else in the country. This basketball team is going to get better as our 2 big guys get better, and it's people like Collins and Triplett, guys that aren't playing very much right now, can improve and prove that they need to play more, and they are going to play more. By the time we get to the Big 8, I think it'll be a very good basketball team, but there are a lot of good basketball teams in the Big 8. Going into this week, the Big 8 record was 36-3 in non-conference play. I think Nebraska had lost at Michigan State, Colorado lost at Stanford, and Iowa State lost a 1-point game at TCU. Great balance. Last year the Big 8 was the toughest league in the country. This year it's going to be one of the elite conferences once again, and better balanced.
Time for a break, and when we come back we will take a look at a nice feature about the spirit around Oklahoma State University and also talk about the upcoming games. Stay with us. Cowboys are playing very good basketball this season, very tough at home. They've won 19 straight inside Gallagher-Iba Arena overall, 32 consecutive games against non-conference competition. It's a combination of great talent on the floor, but also, as you will see in this piece, some great talent off the floor as well.
They call him Big Country. Number 50, Bryant Reeves.
Gallagher-Iba Arena is rapidly establishing a reputation as one of those places where you don't want to play. At times, the noise level can be deafening. All of this, of course, works to Oklahoma State's advantage. Monica West, a junior from Tulsa, is a member of the OSU Spirit Group. It is her job to get the fans into the ball game and show their support for the team. That may be the easiest job in the house. People are excited when they walk in the arena. Monica is just glad she doesn't have to play against the Cowboys.
I would be scared if I was, because the crowd is so enclosed on them. I'd be scared. I think they feel scared.
Good-natured jeering from the crowd is part of the game. Teams expect that when they hit the road, but for a team that is unfamiliar with Gallagher-Iba, the Young Guns may be more than they bargained for. The Young Guns were established last year and in the name of good sportsmanship did an excellent job of wreaking havoc on the baseline. This year there are more members of the Young Guns with new shirts, new caps, and a new seating assignment. But they still make it pretty rough on the competition.
It's great. They know they're going to come here and they're not going to lose. The Cowboys are unbeatable here. Any opponent that comes into this arena has got an L on their column, so we love it here.
Margie McMillan is a season ticket holder. She probably hasn't missed 10 games in the past 38 years. She loves her university, her basketball, and her arena, and she loves being the sixth man.
It's just great. I just get so excited I can hardly stand it. I love it when it's full and everybody's excited. It's more fun for me when there are a lot of people here. I'm always excited, but I like for everybody else to be excited too.
It is not called the Pit or the Tank, but when 6,300 fans start rocking and rolling, everybody calls Gallagher-Iba Arena unbelievable.
Nice piece.
Great piece, great fans. When I was at Arkansas, and I've told this story before, we only lost 5 games in the last 10 years. I thought Barnhill was tough. Gallagher-Iba is tougher. And the reason is our fans play the part of the sixth man. Marge McMillan, those young guns, and all those other people, they didn't let us lose some games last year that we deserved to lose. And it's been the same way this year. It's a happening over there. I think everybody has a good time. And I know, speaking from the coaching staff, for the coaching staff and for the players, it means so much. And we're going to need them Saturday night. We play a good Wichita State team here, a team that beat us last season up in Wichita, a team that is more talented. They're more optimistic about their ball club this year than they were a year ago. A team that is 2-1. They lost to the University of Florida. And the last time the Wheat Shockers came to town, and this is hard to believe, was 1958.
OSU had a superstar playing
not a
then.
superstar. And I had a horrible game, as I remember, in that particular outing. But that was the last time they came to town. It should be a great game. And the last time that our students, for the most part, will be able to see us play, because finals start next week. And, of course, once the finals are over, most of our student body, they're going to head for home. So I hope those students will be loud and vocal Saturday night against the Wheat Shockers.
Great crowd in Stillwater, but I know that your experience over in Tulsa playing California was successful, and you'd like to take that down the other direction and play in Oklahoma City sometime.
We were elated at 8,500 people turning out in Tulsa, and again, we appreciate so much the cooperation of ORU for allowing us to use their arena, and congratulations to Ken Trick and his ball club. They won the tournament at Marshall this past weekend. But the fans were excited. We went in there and played a good opponent. What we're finding is that a lot of teams don't want to come to Gallagher-Iba Arena and play, and we're going to be able to schedule a top flight opponent in Tulsa. And as you mentioned, in time, we want to take our ball club to Oklahoma City down there and give our fans an opportunity to see us play. The toughest ticket for an athletic event in years to come, and it is right now probably, is to get into Gallagher-Iba Arena. So it just makes sense for us to go to Oklahoma City, to Tulsa, to allow our fans there to watch the Cowboys play.
Coach, a talented player we've not heard a lot about is Sean Walker. What's the latest on him?
Well, Sean Walker has had shoulder problems. His shoulder keeps dislocating, and that's slowed him down. Plus the fact he had the flu the other night over in Tulsa, had a 101-degree temperature in the dressing room. He was suited up, didn't make the trip with us to Louisiana Tech. And there's some talk, and we're discussing this with him, about a possible medical red shirt year. You can play up to 20% of the games and get a medical release, and we may do that with Sean. But he's a fine young man, and we're missing him.
All right, Coach, thanks. Congratulations. We'll see you after the holidays.
Happy holiday season to you.
That is right. We'll take a couple weeks off. Check your local listings. We'll see you the next time, though, on the Eddie Sutton Show.